So about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right, I started to get like these short clips of a TV show I watched years ago, right? They were on my YouTube and then they started coming on YouTube Shorts. And now usually I don't consume a lot of content. And even if I do, it's like in the gym and it's always like valuable stuff, right? It's always good stuff that feeds my brain in a positive way. But I started watching these clips of the show, right? And then I'm like getting the nostalgia, like I'm feeling really good about it. I'm enjoying. I'm like, oh, I remember when that happened, when this character did that. And before I know it, like I'm on Netflix binging this TV show like a bimbo, right? Like I have no other life purpose. Like I've got no goals, nothing, right? And I just start watching one episode. It's like an hour, right? I'm watching 2, 3 episodes a day and I'm finishing the seasons in like a day or two, right? And I knew it was bad for me, right? And I knew that like obviously I shouldn't be doing this. I should be focused on my work, on my goals. I was still being like relatively productive, but for my standards, this was horrific, right? This was horrible. But I kept going. I kept like just watching it here and there. And I saw that like it not only affected my work, but it also affected how I was like basically what's it called, how I was praying. So I was delaying my prayers. When I was actually praying, I felt that I didn't have that level of khushu, that concentration. I was basically just rushing through my prayers. I wasn't as present as I should have been in this dunya, not only in my prayers but just everything else in life, right? And I started to see the world almost differently, started to act a little bit differently, just a teeny tiny bit, right? Because I was basically getting negatively influenced by this kuffar TV show. Goes on, a couple of days go by, and I realized at some point that I got by the shaitan. That little bro just came up, snuck up on me, and just gave me a banging right hand, right? And I'm like, this boy got me. And I kind of pattern up. I'm like, all right, I'm actually gonna like start focusing on the actual stuff. I'm gonna stop watching this and I'm gonna start getting back to work. You see, before this TV show, before I started binging it, I was reading the Sirah, I was reading my other books on business. Like it was super easy, it was super focused. But whilst I was binging it, after I would get the main tasks for my business done, right? I would just be like, okay, like now I can watch it. And it usually takes me like a couple hours to like get the main stuff done. And usually I would go read a book, go do this, go do that, go actually do something positive, do something that's productive. But this time I'm doing none of that. I'm just wasting hours and hours on Netflix, just wasting my life away like a complete bimbo. And it was so hard for me to go read like the Sirah, for example. It was so hard for me to like actually sit down and read a book. And even if I would like sit down, right, I would have like no concentration. I would be so bored. I wouldn't even want to read it. I would hate my life. I would just want to go watch the TV show. And this reminded me of the concept and of the idea of dopamine detox, right? So I remember like 2 years ago, a year ago, probably 2 years ago, it's when like it was popping off on YouTube and I heard about it for the first time, right? And it was basically this idea that you basically remove your phone, social media, all these like little distraction things that basically give you a lot of dopamine, that basically make you feel good on the short term. You remove those things and you focus on like the normal stuff, like going out, touching grass, working on the thing you want to work, reading a book, stuff like that. And at that point, it was really useful to me. And that idea came back to me and I was like, wait. By watching like this Netflix show, I've instantly like my dopamine has just spiked up, right? I fried my dopamine receptors with all this like instant gratification, with all of this pleasure. And I'm not even enjoying the show anymore. I'm just like going through it like a zombie. I'm going through life in general like a zombie. And it made me realize like right now, so the way dopamine works, this is like the scientific, the halal bro way of me explaining it, right? It's basically we have this chemical, who cares, it's called dopamine. But you basically, whenever you do something in life, right, it's dopamine is your motivation molecule. And whenever like something good happens, or like you win a game, you make money online, you go to the gym, you watch Netflix, you scroll on Instagram, all of these things, they just, when those actions happen, you release dopamine. You release dopamine when you eat food and also when you scroll TikTok. And the thing is, when you're scrolling TikTok and you're watching Netflix TV shows and you're doing all of this, you release so much dopamine, right? And it becomes harder for you to read a book. it becomes harder for you to actually sit down and work on a business, because working on a business is like basically very boring, right? Working on a business is hard. So when you have all of these things that stop you from becoming that better version of yourself that aren't productive, it's also harder for you to do the good things and for you to enjoy the good things. And I realized, wait. I need to get on a bit of a dopamine detox. I need to actually remove this. So not only will it become easier for me to read and learn and actually work on the business and enjoy these things, but I'll also not waste my time. And that's what I did, obviously. That's why I'm here telling the story on YouTube. But you need to understand this, that you can't be like half in, half out, right? You can't have one foot in, one foot out. You need to basically remove all weaknesses in your life, all things that are holding you back, whether it's some scrolling on social media, whether it's bad junk food that's very stimulating, it's like Netflix, TV shows, anything, video games, all of these things need to be removed from your life for you to actually like have fun, for you to actually make progress, consistent progress on the work you want to do, on building a YouTube channel because you understand the power of personal branding, of literally anything, right? If you want to do anything productive, read a book, whatever, you can't have any source of weakness in your life, especially when it comes to your deen. You're not going to have that same level of concentration. You're not going to have that same level of just khushu and just have that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you're watching like super stimulating content. That's one of the big reasons I don't like edit my like content so much, right? There's only like cuts here and there, and that's basically it. And compared to TikTok, compared to anything else, when you're scrolling on there, it stimulates your brain. Your dopamine receptors get fried. So literally the other day I was at the gym, right? I'm hearing this like kid tell his friend, "Oh yeah, bro, I scrolled on TikTok for 12 hours, bro." When you do that, you have no like actual consciousness, you have no presence to go pray and actually worship your Lord, to actually sit there and pray and be like, oh yeah, like I'm actually talking to the King of all kings, I'm actually talking to Allah. So it's so important that we remove every bit of distraction. There is no, oh, I'm just having fun, this is just for fun. It's all like, it's easier for you to be all in on the discipline things, right? It's easier for you to just be reading, to be going on walks, to be eating good food, compared to you being, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And honestly, everyone who you look up to, like let's say for example, the Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our prophet, right? Do you think he had any form of weakness in his life? Like even if he had their phones in his time or anything like that, of course he wouldn't indulge in that. Of course he wouldn't be sitting there scrolling on TikTok, right? And it's the same thing. You can't have a little bit of like winding down time or anything dumb like that. Of course you can do it in a healthy way. You read a book, you journal, you do all the whatever stuff, right? But you need to understand that it's so important for you to be completely locked in, to be completely all in, because it makes everything easier. And just by me watching that 5-minute clip, right, it compounded, it snowballed into the wrong direction. I started to watch the whole season, I binged it, then I lost that khushu in prayer, I couldn't concentrate, I stopped reading, I stopped doing this, I stopped doing that. I was just going downhill. It was momentum in the wrong way compared to it going up. And it's the same. When you add these small little tiny things, they might not hurt you instantly, right? It might not be that one little thing that hurts you, but they all add up. They all make it worse and worse for you. So try, inshallah, from now on, literally picking out what are the bad things, what are the things that are making you weak as a believer, making you weak as an entrepreneur, whatever it is. Pick those things out and start removing them one by one, just using discipline, removing them from your environment, removing them from your life, and slowly just getting better and better with it. And at some point, inshallah, I won't say I've reached this point, but at some point, like ideally, we have no weaknesses. All we do in life is we just work on our business, we work on our goals, we go to the gym, whatever, right? And you go have such a strong connection with Allah. Of course, you might slip up here and there, right? But you're connected, your like prayers are super focused, you're reading the Quran, you're memorizing, you're seeking knowledge, all of those things. And that's going to happen when there are no weaknesses, when you're not scrolling on TikTok, when you're not binging Netflix TV shows like me. I hope this video is valuable for you. I hope you start removing those weaknesses in your life. If you want closer access to me, if you want to start halal online business, start halal side hustle, all that good stuff, actually achieve freedom in your life, go click the first link in the description. Inshallah, I will see you in there.